Trump falsely claims Kamala Harris's rally crowd was fake and AI generated. Now, has anybody ever seen anyone on the tarmac at an airport waiting for Air Force Two? I'm pretty sure it's what you call a security risk.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention the people with transparent arms and stuff like that. So, yeah, here's some of the photos in close-up. Obviously, these are real people who really love Kamala Harris. Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, they just look like the most natural.
If you look at that dude right there with look at his eyes, and look at the guy right to his left with a different color fucking hat.
Look at this guy over here. He looks like
the same guy.
It's like Mongoloid Jason over here.
Is this like Will Smith eating spaghetti?
Yeah, no kidding. Blank phones. That's another great one there.
Uh-huh.
And then there's, once you get into like the people who are way in the background, they start to look like the demonic face at the end of every Paranormal Activity movie. But then here's my favorite. The giant crowd, of course, that we saw in this last picture here, mysteriously casts no reflections on the chrome of the aircraft.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
But, it was totally no evidence whatsoever. Just like the 2020 election, there's no evidence that was rigged, right? Except for the, hours and hours of video evidence, the thousands of sworn affidavits for which no one has been prosecuted. Mm-hmm. So obviously they were telling the truth.
Because all of the lawsuits were dismissed before discovery. So, shut your whore mouth.
Yep.
There was no evidence, and it was the most secure election ever. And all elections are secure unless Trump wins.
Of course, yeah. Yes. All elections are secure unless a conservative wins.
Well, wasn't this actually had AI look at it?
I wouldn't even call Trump a conservative.
No, he's more like a business liberal from the 80s.
He's a centrist populist. Who wants to drain the swamp? And the swamp fought back. Oh well,
shocker! Yeah,
I'm shocked. Yeah, no,
that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
but I mean, they saw Ross Perot get kind of close, almost 20% of the popular vote, and they were like, "We need to fuck this shit. We need."
He actually did win.
Shit. We need
Michigan. But the Electoral College flipped for Clinton instead.
Yep. Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well,
just pay no mind to what your own eyes and ears show you, right?
Well, I generally have not been an enthusiastic voter. I hardly ever voted in anything other than local elections because. When you have some freaking asshole from who's friends with Michelle Pfeiffer and David E. Kelly, right, who buys a huge patch of land right next to your small town, your small resource-based town, and then says, we're going to shut down logging and fishing, right? Okay, wow. and they basically pay some dude to run for mayor in your town. You're like, I could get off my ass and fucking vote.
Wow.
That's literally what happened. Michelle Pfeiffer, David E. Kelly bought land outside of Port McNeill, BC. They never showed up in town. They just always had their personal shopper, right, go and buy that. Or they flew their groceries in from elsewhere, right? They didn't contribute to the local economy at all, right?
Wow.
And they spent about a month and a half, a year there, and then were just absentee landlords, and then decided that they were going to sponsor a mayoral candidate who was going to shut down the fish hatcheries, shut down fish farming, shut down logging, shut down everything, shut down the sand and gravel place that had just been built.
So basically destroy the working class.
Yes, and turn it into a tourist hotspot. Right, where everybody earns minimum wage, and
of course,
and they only work 6 months a year.
That's why when people ask me, like, how can you vote for Trump? He's a tax breaks for millionaires, blah, blah, blah. Like the Democrats want to tax the rich. I was like, no. We're gonna throw the bullshit flag on that, because if you were a politician, would you tax your donors? Of course not. Do you have any idea how fucking retarded it is to actually believe these people when they say they're going to tax the rich only?
Yep.
Of course not. The rich have an army of accountants and lawyers they can use to find every single loophole and dodge every single tax. So who winds up picking it up?
Here's the thing. If
they only get most of the mega rich, their income is just realized capital gains.
Yep.
Right? And so it's like, okay, so I don't want my realized capital gains. Like, I bought Suncor, which is like a Canadian oil company, right? Oil and gas company. I bought Suncor during the COVID dip at $16 a share. And now it's up to like $53 a share, back up.
Nice.
Right? Yeah, no. And I'm like, hey, and I'm going to get taxed when I cash those out. Right? But the to increase the capital gains tax means nobody's going to invest, right? And to tax you on unrealized capital gains, which is what they're trying to push through, right? So even before you sell it, right? Okay, at the end of the year, at the end of Q4, your stock was worth $53, and the next day, it could drop to $16, and you didn't sell it, but you have to pay based on that $53 valuation. And I'm like,
that's fucked up.
It's a bunch of shit.
Who would invest? Yep. Who would invest in anything?
That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
So it's about a targeted destruction of the middle and working class.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.